Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and my studio. Today I'm going to create a simple card project that could be used for Valentine's Day or just for general love. Let's take a look at the products I'm using. I've got my CZ Design Noted Heart stamp set, and there is a small coordinating die set that cuts out the heart, the main greeting, and a couple of the smaller hearts. This is a mix and match set where you can stamp your note list, which is shaped like a heart, things I love about you, and stamp in all these cute little things to customize the card for someone you love. I've got a couple inks here from Simon Says Stamp, Peony and Flannel, and I've got some white cardstock as well. So let's get started with some stamping. I've got my MISTI, and there's a waffle flower grip mat in the center, and I'm just going to line this up, probably right about here, and press it down so it stays adhered to the grip mat. What I'm going to do is create first a simple little background using this heart shape. The first thing we'll do is line up the heart right in the center of this panel. Okay, and I'll pick it up with the MISTI door. And then I'm going to use my Simon Says Stamp flannel, and I'm going to create a simple pattern with this big stamp. It doesn't seem like it's going to be much, but I tell you, it's a fun way to take a stamp and create a nice tone-on-tone background. I'll work my hands around here and transfer that ink. Oh, that looks great. And then what I'm going to do is in between, right, I will wipe off my stamp with my stamp Shammy. You want to make sure before you place it again, though, that it is dry. So if your Shammy is a little bit damp, just make sure that is not anymore. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my heart right about at that line. Yeah, I think that will look cute. And we're just going to fill this panel with the flannel heart note card. And that is just going to create a cute little background. There's a heart. And I'm going to repeat this until I have the entire piece covered up. And here too, you can flip it in different directions. I'm just gonna kind of make a little mirror right here, make it about the same. That'll look good. Doesn't have to be perfect, because really all we're doing is just sort of creating a texture. Place that up top. And press that down. I think I'm going to have to move this over just a little bit so that I have enough room to get this whole piece here. It doesn't even have to be super symmetrical. Actually, let me see which part of that is that I want. That guy. That. Okay, like that. Stamp down. That. And then I'm going to flip this and just fill in the other side as well. All right. Like that. So now I just have this little simple pattern in the background, and I'm going to set that aside. Next, I'm going to take a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to put some masking magic to protect half of it. Well, not the full half. This will all make sense in a second. I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to take masking magic and press it down right there, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ink blend onto this side of the paper. Let me grab my brush. I've got my Peony Ink Pad. I'm going to load up my brush, and with this pressed down nicely, I'm going to blend this color right onto this panel. because I want to have a custom heart. And I think this is going to be really pretty. So we're just blending on enough peony to get nice color and a nice line here that separates it from the other side of the cardstock. And what I want to see is if I have enough color that I will be able to stamp, and it looks like I do. Put a little bit more out here so that it's a little deeper. Great. All right, now what I'm going to have to do is let this dry completely before I stamp on it. But if I peel off, you can see I just have a nice crisp line that I'm going to stamp my heart so it can have two halves in two colors. While I wait for that panel to dry, I'm going to take Things I Love About You, and I'm going to stamp this also in the peony for a nice match. And we'll just bring that down. I don't even need to press it that hard because it's a very delicate greeting. So I'm just inking and letting the MISTI door drop down and create that beautiful, easily stamped, delicate greeting. I will grab the coordinating die, cut that out, and probably cut a couple layers to give it some dimension. I went ahead and I glued 2 layers of this little die that cuts out the words just to give it a little more dimension. And I also stamped and cut out 3 hearts with the same peony ink and stacked each one of those on top of another heart die cut. So those are the pieces. Now, as soon as this is ready, we're going to stamp another heart. Next, I'm going to test this to make sure it's dry. And one way you can do that is just take your anti-static powder and go all over here. Take your embossing powder. I'm going to be using ultra fine antique gold. It's a very warm powder. Just sprinkle some on. And if it all comes off beautifully, you are ready to stamp. That's just a quick test you can use. I actually took about an hour break because I had to get some other work done. So that is how long I waited. But the reason you have to wait with the positively saturated inks is they do have a little more dry down time. And most dye inks dry really quickly, but these take just a little bit more. So now I know I am ready to stamp on my panel. So let's get our MISTI tool back out. And what I'm going to do is just place this right here on the grip mat. Press it down. My fingers are a little oily. Put some lotion on, so hopefully that doesn't affect anything. And I'm going to grab that stamp again. And now what I'm going to try to do to the best of my ability is to get that completely on the bottom point and the top point right in the middle, so I have this pretty two-toned heart. So I'm going to pick this up and again come back in with my anti-static powder. Also, if you use these sticky types of mats, I wash mine probably once a week with some dish soap and they get the stick right back wherever there was powder, so it's pretty easy to keep them in sticky condition. I'm going to use my Simon Says Stamp clear embossing ink and we're going to ink up the heart. And I'm going to bring this down and transfer to the panel of cardstock. Okay, just work my fingers around. It'll be a little easier to see on this side when it comes up. I'm going to ink it again, like that, and press. Let that transfer. I'm going to use my Protect the Mani clothespin just because I don't want to get my fingers burned. And I will sprinkle on my powder. And you'll see this heart on both sides. I'll just let that sit for a second. I just use a folded piece of paper because it's very quick. And now you can see I have my powder nicely on here. And now I'm ready to melt it with my heat tool. And now I have a nice gold two-toned heart, and I'm going to grab the coordinating die and I'm going to cut this out. I've got the die in place and I will just run this through my electric die cut machine. Now I should have a nicely cut two-toned heart with shine. All right, moving on. So see how that's going to look on here? I am going to pop this up with a few Simon Says Stamp foam squares. These are the slightly thicker loft because I want this to have a little dimension. So I'll just put a few around and give that a little bit of pop up. So that way our little heart here is up like that. And so you can see how it just sort of stands out with this cute little gray in the back, and then we're going to put the greeting on top. Let me get my note card prepped. I'm bringing in a piece of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White, and this is just the 80 pound. Because this is already so nice and heavy, I don't need extra bulk, so I'm going to use a lighter weight for my note card base. And this is 11 inches by 4 1/4. Fold this down. And I'll take my Teflon bone folder and give that a nice press. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is mount this directly onto the note card itself, just so that this becomes the front panel of the card. I got some tape runner on the back to hold this in place, and I'm just going to use my Score Buddy to help me line up, make sure I'm the right side up, so that I can quickly put this right onto the card base, and now this becomes the top of the card. Before I finish the card, however, I'm going to stamp things on the inside, and I'm going to repeat this design. So let me grab my MISTI again. So what I'm going to do is put my note card right back in, and I'm going to line this up in the exact, mostly the exact same spot. Okay, pick it up. And then I'm going to open this like that, and I'm going to stamp it right in here. The nice thing about the MISTI tool is you can hang your cardstock out and it's not going to harm anything. It's going to look just fine. So I'm going to do another little gray heart on the inside, and then I can fill up my list for the inside of the card. Okay, so just transfer your ink like that. Looks good. And now I'll just start filling in the list. One of my ideas was you could use the longer greetings at the top, these little sentiments. And the other thing you can do is you can stamp a couple at a time. And I'm gonna say, I like his taste in music. I have someone in mind for this card, so your taste in music, let's put you in here. And you can just, go down the list, right? Put little things on, get them set up how you like. And I'll just do these 3 at once. Now you could do them in a matching color. I think I'm just gonna do them with a little black ink. So I'm gonna take a little ink cube. This is just an Onyx black from Gina K Designs. I'm tapping it down. And then I'll bring this in and not press too hard, right? Just kind of drop it, let that ink transfer, because these are very petite little greetings. I don't need to stamp that again, so I'll wipe these down and let me get the next 3 placed. All right, now I've got the next 3 in place. Pick those up, and you could decorate the inside of your card with other hearts that you could stamp down from the set. I think I'm just gonna have this be the inside for this card. Just like this, and press. So now I've got my little list running down, and now I can finish the card by adding the elements to the front. Change my mind, I am gonna stamp just these 2 little hearts, and I'm gonna stamp them in the pink for a little connection from the front color here, like that. Isn't that cute? Just a couple. And I could do a third because I have a third that I'm planning to use. So again, just wipe them off and put this little friend right here, just for a little cuteness on the inside, like that. All right, now we'll do the front. All right, we'll take all of the backers off the foam squares, and I'm going to add just a little bit of my liquid glue so that these can have just a second of float time before I commit the position, because foam squares, well, they stick like a mother. All right, so we're just going to line that up right on the other hearts below, and kind of slide that a little, put that over a bit more. I think that's really cute. It might not be completely centered, but you know what? I think that's going to be fine. I think I'm a little bit closer on one side than the other, but now I have that, and I'm going to put my greeting right here at the top. And again, I've got 3 layers of this die cut stacked for some dimension, so it feels a little more substantial. And you are going to go, yeah, let's do right there, right on the line. Takes a minute with the liquid adhesive. And while I'm waiting, I can actually take my brick and pop that on there. I like this placement for the 3 hearts just to put a little more color balance over on the left. So again, just a little liquid glue. I'm going to pop it right where those lines intersect. Right, and then we'll just press that down. And one more. I think I'll put my glue down first, right about there, and be at a little tilt right under that Y. So here's the finished card project. We have that shiny heart popped up on a nice neutral gray pattern of the same design. And when you open it up, the things I love about you are all listed in a heart inside. Thanks so much for watching today. You can find a link to the visual supply list if you want to shop for any of the supplies I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love to have you, so hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.